Welcome back everybody, Max here, and it's been a little minute since I've done a video, and recently watched another one of Westy's babble ranting videos about how he could improve premium and what he would do if he was in charge and all that kind of crap. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm getting really tired of listening to his rhetoric and his bullshit banging down a drum. He thinks he's speaking for the community as a whole, but I tell you right now, he sure as shit doesn't speak for me, and I don't think he actually speaks for the majority of the community. You know, I read some of the comments that he posted in that video down below, and as a whole, the feedback seems to me to be pretty negative. You know, you get your occasional fella that's on there banging the drum and thinking that he's great and blowing smoke up his ass, but as a whole, people just don't seem to be on board with the rhetoric, and I honestly think he should just go back to making normal videos about the gameplay and guns and all that fun stuff, and just leave it at that, or just even just drop news about what's going on within, you know, within the Battlefield community, and just leave it at that, and stop trying to interject his opinion, and then enforce that by in a way that, you know, makes it sound like he's talking for me. Because I'll tell you right now, you ain't talking for me, fella. There's no way in hell, because I don't agree with what you're saying. So, in his video, and you can go watch his video. I'm not going to leave a link in it because, you know, why would I support something that I don't believe in? But you can go and watch his video. And in his video, he bangs on all about how he would change the game and talking about premium pass and early access and all this fun stuff. Well, the early access, of course, already exists in the game. DLC, if you bought premium content and you get the DLC before everybody else, well, surely that is early access. He then goes on to suggest that if you signed up for his new and superb and new improved premium access type deal, then you could get access to the CTE. Well, and that would be included in your premium pass. But what he forgets to mention or even allude to in his rhetoric, or whatever you want to call it, is the fact that the CTE is actually not open to the whole community. So the fact that they call it a community test environment, by definition, is kind of a joke, because the community is actually not in it. Only PC players are in it, and they make up a very small portion of the community. So it's not really even a community test environment. Now, I also understand, of course, that Sony and Microsoft both play a big part in that. And so him saying, well, we could offer that as a premium thing, you know, when you sign up to DICE, is also crap, because that's outside of DICE's remit. They don't even have the power to offer that as an incentive, because, of course, Microsoft and Sony control their own product within their own product range and the console market. So unless they say yes, and unless they've approved it, guess what? How the hell are you going to... You can't offer that as an incentive, because Microsoft and Sony might stick their fingers up. So that's a complete load of tosh as well. Absolute garbage. You'll have to go and watch this video. It drives me absolutely crackers. So you want a solution, or you want to hear my solution? Because, you know, I'm an absolute all-god, Battlefield, all-knowing, all-person guru. So sit back and pay attention to this. So his solution is about early access, microtransactions, which basically turns the game into something like Call of Duty, which, you know, again, slap in the face for that crap. We're not going to... I don't want the game to go down that path. I left Call of Duty a long time ago. I like the realism within Battlefield. It's great, and I like the way it is boots on the ground, to coin a phrase now coined by COD. It's better. It's not COD, and so we don't want microtransactions. I don't want colourful guns. I don't want people jumping off walls. I don't want people double boost jumping on top of buildings and all the other bollocks that goes with all of that crap. If I wanted to do that, I'd go and play COD. So no, microtransactions are not going to work either. Here's my suggestion in which way you could make this work. Now, I don't believe that at any time soon you're going to see premium access or any of that fun stuff go away. DICE is in this for the money. It's a business at the end of the day, and they're going to try and cream as much revenue out of it as they possibly can. And so that's perfectly understandable. You know, if you're in the market, you're doing a business, you want to sell something to the customer, and boom. But you better pay close attention to what the customer wants, because the customer base can disappear quick. And kind of that's what we're seeing with the community right now. There's a lot of people, you know, shying away from it right now because it's just tosh, to be perfectly honest. So this is what I would do. I'd still have like a premium DLC, but I wouldn't call it that. It would just be, you can buy DLC access, but you can have it in advance, right? So the game's about to drop, you've bought your DLC, you're going to get it before everybody else, and that's great. we put it on a 3 to 4 month rotation period cycle. Now, the game's going to go across a development cycle of 2 years. I don't think 3 or 4 months is too unrealistic to drop DLC. It just means, guess what? You're going to have to put some more time, more effort, and more work into the game and give us more content as we go. And that's pretty much what everybody wants. So as it drops at 3 to 4 months, the DLC, players that have bought this already before the game has come out, or even during, then that's fantastic. So they get access to the DLC. The 3 or 4 month rotational map thing comes around and the new DLC drops. But the DLC that was already dropped in the previous drop is now integrated into the vanilla map cycle. And that means that the community that didn't want to buy DLC and doesn't have access to it, and there's plenty of people that can't afford to buy into it before everybody jumps on that, oh, we'll just pay the money, you cheapskate. Well, not everybody's got the amount of money to just drop into that. So, fair dues and give them a break. So integrate those maps, the new DLC stuff, you integrate that into the vanilla map cycle. And by doing that, after a 3 or 4 month period, you'll find that that kind of map cycle's getting a little bit stale. There's no new players in it. It's only DLC content players and all that kind of fun stuff. So releasing it into the vanilla cycle, what it does is it now gives the entire community boost into the DLC cycle. So now you've just given it a great big burst of gas, and now there's a whole bunch of new players in there, and there's the guys that had DLC can come back and play it. And it's great, and it's in this rotation, and you've just breathed new life into the old DLC. The new DLC that has just dropped, well, the guys that bought into it are now playing that on their own. And the beautiful kicker to all of this, and everybody loves kicking ass on Christmas noobs. Well, what this does is give everybody a 3 to 4 month cycle of Christmas noob ass kicking. Because what will happen, of course, is that the people that have bought DLC and have played these maps for 3 or 4 months know how they work and inside and out and all that fun stuff. So when all the new guys come in there, you can whop some serious arse in the first week or whatever until everybody catches up and learns the maps, and off you go. That also being said, gives the players that didn't buy the DLC the incentive to buy the DLC so that they're not 3 to 4 months behind the curve. But if you can't afford to buy it, well, guess what? In 3 or 4 months' time, it will be integrated into the map rotation, and on we go from there. So that's what I would do with maps, and as that progresses across the game, every time a DLC drops, it goes 3 or 4 months. After that period of time, when the new one comes in, the other one's then back integrated into the vanilla map cycle, and you culminate with a game come the end of its lifespan where everybody has access to the maps, everything's great, and everything is good from there. Now, the other thing I would do is related to guns and stuff like that. Now, I have just finished unlocking all 4 of the brand new variants dropped in the spring patch, and to be honest with you, they're absolutely crap. But what I did like is the grind. Now, the challenges to get the guns were good. I mean, to me, some of them were bigger a grind than the others, but it was good. It kept me engaged in the game. It made me want to play it, and it made me keep coming back for more. So what I would do is integrate more of that into level 10 weapons, if you want to call them level 10 weapons, if that was the top tier. Well, then great. Let's integrate that at level 10, but make the grind something substantial so that you really got to grind out for it. But when you do get the gun, make it something that's actually worthwhile having. The only level 10 grind gun that was ever worth having was the Hellrigger in the Assault class, and that actually was a viable level 10 weapon. The others are just absolute garbage. So, that being said, there's your grind. So after that, you want to put in tokens, and you want to put in dog tags, and you want to put in all this kind of stuff. Well, then put an incentive grind to them. Make it there a point to it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can put something on the gun. You can in that way you can customize your weapon in a certain way without losing the theme of Battlefield or World War One or whatever theme of the game is going about. You don't lose that feeling, but you can at least customize your weapon and put this stuff on the screen and say, listen, I grinded out for this, and this is super hard, and here it is, I've got it. So just making the system more grindable. Now, the people in the world in the business market, of course, are going to be jumping up and down and screaming like Billy O, because I've just basically stripped out all of the way that they generate all of their revenue. And I say to that, absolute crap, because if you generate that much more excitement and enthusiasm around a game, people are going to want to play it more. People are going to want to buy it more. People are going to want to buy the DLC early. They're going to get involved, and therefore they're actually going to spend more money. You'll generate more longevity and more hype around a game and be able to keep it up and running. And therefore, through advertising and all of that kind of fun stuff, you're going to smash the market in a much bigger way. And that is how you recoup the revenue loss that right here, right now, all you're doing is just milking the market, effectively. You're just milking players. You're not giving them anything. And it's crap. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, really, is the 2 new night maps, which is the Veil Knights and Prix de Jour, which are coming out. Now, they haven't boldly outright said they're going to lock those 2 maps behind a paywall. And after all of the debauchery that came out with the new patch for the spring patch when it comes to the netcode and all the crap that they now have admitted that they screwed up, I think they were tittering around locking that behind a paywall too, or at very least just offering it to, you know, DLC membership or any of that kind of crap. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So it looks like now we're actually going to get those maps, and they're actually going to drop them in as free content. And me personally, I think that's absolutely fantastic, and that's how they should be doing these one-off unique maps. Drop them in across the year, including in the DLC, and again, you create hype. Now, within this game currently as it stands, do I think they're doing it for the right reasons? No, I don't. I think they're doing it as an incentive to try and generate some more enthusiasm, because I think the general community as a whole is all pissed off and just upset because they just feel that they're being kicked every time they turn around a corner. I certainly feel that way. To get back to a netcode situation, I've actually gone out and spent an enormous amount of money and upgraded my netcode. Now, I've upgraded my internet. Now, does it affect my ping speed or nothing? No, of course it doesn't, because that's to do with distance from the server and all that fun stuff. But it has kind of stabilised my network, and it's stabilised my connection speeds and all that fun stuff. But why the hell should I have to go out there and spend an enormous amount of money just to get good internet, just to play your game? I think that's absolute garbage as well. So don't spoon feed me maps and all this kind of stuff trying to think that you're going to appease me somehow, because I tell you right now, you're not. And I think the general community feels the same way. I think they're being spoon fed this shite, and they're tired and they're pissed off. So in the future, DICE need to pull their fingers out and come up with something a little bit more viable, in my humble opinion. Like I say, this is just my opinion. Sounds like a rant, actually is a rant, but it's just my viewpoint, just my opinion. And I'm sure there's going to be 1,000 people in the comments like the last video that do agree, and there'll be another 1,000 people that don't. And that's the beautiful thing of life, people. If everybody thought the same way, this world would be a very, very boring place. So that being said, there it is. There's my rant. That's my take on how not to fix it, but certainly how to give back something to the community and inject some new life or longevity into the game. And I think we're going to find this when it comes to Battlefront 2. I think they're looking at that, and they're looking at the system they're about to employ, and they're going to try and employ some of these tactics within Battlefield 1. Nothing's really going to change in this. The system's already set in place, and it's never going to go away. We're not going to have to wait for the brand new game that comes out in 2018 before you're going to see any real change. But I think they're going to try and implement small changes in Battlefield 1 using a system that they are going to fully integrate into Battlefront 2, with the mindset of maybe exploring some of these things and then putting them into a game in 2018, and then maybe we won't all be bitching quite the same way as we are for Battlefield 1. That being said, absolutely love Battlefield 1, not going to stop playing it. I think it's a great game. I just wish and hope that they would pull their fingers out their asses and, you know, get on with it, get something fixed, give us the patch for the netcode, get some hit registration going on, and just, you know, make it a more better and more pleasurable experience for everybody. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. My name's Max Rank. Tune in another time. I will do another video. I'll be doing a live stream on Saturday. Tune in for that at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you want to bash me personally, you can leave a comment in the chat, and that's all good, and that's all fair, and that's all fun. So until the next time, I'll see you fellas later. Ta-da.